Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, is JSX CEO Wilcox rumored Whitaker replacement? Aero activism, KISM pilots seek to institute advisory board. Commercial air tours banned at Canyon de Chelly. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. Is JSX CEO Wilcox rumored Whitaker replacement? There have been some changes in the rumor mill as to who will fill the position of FAA Administrator under President-elect Trump, following the upcoming resignation of current FAA Boss Michael Whitaker. While the early political rumors pointed to former FAA Acting Administrator Dan Elwell as a leading possibility to get the nod, the tides have changed. Currently, a number of respected Washington insiders suggest that JSX CEO Alex Wilcox has emerged as a leading candidate to head the FAA, and that possibility has a number of members of the airline community in a bit of a tizzy, as JSX has been a thorn in the side for a number of them. Wilcox has been highly critical about what he sees as a monopolistic scenario employed and espoused by many of the major airlines as regards to many of the country's larger airports, suggesting that they limit the growth of alternative air service operations and stifle competition. Further, JSX has been living with the threat of an FAA crackdown for some time, ostensibly urged on by a number of airlines who are no fan of the JSX business plan. Wilcox has an extensive resume in airline operations, but his positions on GA and BizAv access are less well known. Regardless, this may make for an interesting choice. After the break, Volocopter files for insolvency. Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Volocopter files for insolvency. Volocopter filed an application for insolvency in the Karlsruhe local court on December 26, 2024, while also announcing the need for new financing within the next 8 weeks to save the all-electric air taxi project. The court initiated the insolvency proceedings the next day and appointed Tobias Vol as its administrator. Vol called a meeting of Volocopter staff to inform employees about the situation. Business operations are intended to continue normally during the provisional insolvency proceedings, and the company remains confident its Volocity eVTOL will enter the market in 2025. FAA calls for public meeting to modernize flight schools. The FAA is seeking a public meeting to discuss the state of the flight school business. The Federal Register admits that, quote, the process of licensing or certification of pilot schools in the U.S. is approaching 100 years of existence. Although the FAA has revised certain regulatory requirements pertaining to pilot schools during this time, Part 141 still has many foundational ties to CAR Part 50, which was implemented in the 40s, end quote. The FAA will hold the first virtual public meeting on Thursday, March 6, 2025, from 10 to 2 Eastern. Greg Gibson named APWO President and CEO. The Association of Professional Warbird Operators announced that VP and COO Greg Gibson has been promoted to President and CEO effective immediately. During the past 3 months, Gibson has been transitioning into the new role under the guidance of founding president and CEO John Leitz-Leanhoutz and the board of directors. Leitz successfully launched APWO in January 2023, and through his leadership established its foundation while guiding the organization through its first 2 years as he committed to do. FAA restricts drone company after Florida show incident. The FAA has placed numerous restrictions on Texas-based drone company Sky Elements after a 7-year-old boy was injured at one of their air shows. He was struck by at least one drone at the event and taken into open heart surgery. The holiday drone show held at Lake Eola Park took place on December 21st at 6:30 p.m. This was the third consecutive year of operation, with the event consistently drawing in crowds upwards of 25,000 people. That's it for today's Trip Around the Patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Aero activism. KISM pilots seek to institute advisory board. After the overlords in the Kissimmee City Government rushed a rule requiring user fees over the holidays, while they may have hoped that would limit attendance from those pilots that seemed to annoy them, there has been a movement to petition the city to institute a Kissimmee Airport Advisory Board to offer, in part, quote, expert advice from aviation professionals, residents, and business leaders. The board could provide recommendations to improve operational safety and airport efficiency, end quote. The proposed board would, quote, actively attract more investment, tourism, and aviation-related businesses. The board could help explore new opportunities for airport expansion, increase tourism and business development, making Kissimmee a hub for economic activity, end quote. Utilizing change.org to seek signatures to support this effort, those who proposed the Kissimmee Airport Advisory Board believe, quote, the creation of an airport advisory board is a crucial step in ensuring the long-term success, growth, and sustainability of Kissimmee Gateway Airport. By establishing this board, we can strengthen community involvement, promote economic growth, and improve the quality of life for residents, while positioning Kissimmee as a key player in the aviation and tourism sectors, end quote. You can add your name to the list at change.org. After these messages, commercial air tours banned at Canyon de Chelly.
Looking for a new generation of proven and efficient aviation power plants that boast modern engineering, electronic ignition, and both direct and gear drive systems? With 100 horsepower to 240 horsepower, the Skyline and Redline engines offer uncommon value in an overpriced industry. Whether you are looking for fixed wing or rotor, MW Fly Americas has been established to service the American market with dedication and expertise. MWFlyAmericas.com. The legendary BD4C program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged 4-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more details.
Welcome back. Commercial air tours banned at Canyon de Chelly. Aviation is taking another precious hit on our freedoms. Commercial overflights at Canyon de Chelly National Monument in northeastern Arizona will be prohibited under the Air Tour Management Plan put together by the FAA and the National Park Service. Canyon de Chelly joins about 24 other national park units that have or are in the process of curtailing commercial overflights and the freedom of aviation operators. The plan, which takes effect in 180 days, forbids commercial air tours over the park and within 1/2 mile outside its boundary to allegedly protect natural and cultural resources, sacred Navajo tribal areas, wilderness areas, and visitor experiences. Canyon de Chelly is located in the Four Corners region within the Navajo Nation in northeast Arizona. Its impressive, soaring sandstone cliffs are spectacular with many examples of ruins and ancient rock art. The ATMP was developed through a so-called collaboration of the NPS and FAA, along with consultations with the Navajo Nation. Each ATMP is developed to manage air tours in a way that is consistent with the self-proclaimed mission of the NPS, the purpose of each individual park, and the authority of the FAA with regard to aviation safety. Much of the aviation community is less than thrilled. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.